For what reason are you staring at me? You know this isn't my hat, right? I know it isn't your normal hat, but it's like one video or like a few videos while my move is happening. Come on, you can manage that, right? You can turn the blind into that. Oh, blind the Griff were in the Parisa goal. I get you. Oh, have I been waiting to say this. The Minnesota Wild won a hockey game against the New York Rangers 4-1. Oh, it's been so long. In a game that probably will be remembered for one thing, which I'll talk about doing the gold. But you can talk all you want about tanking, you can talk all about you should just lose every game. No, eventually you need to win games. Even if you're tanking, winning games feels good. It gives you sort of joy and actually a reason to kind of still watch the games. You watch them as a fan. You don't have the natural instinct of watching them wanting to lose. This was a game where you go, finally a win. And even in years where you know you have to fight and lose games to get the first overall pick, these games are important because it just gives you like a little bit of like hope for the future, because one player isn't gonna change a franchise. They have a good chance of helping it, but you need other players. You need some of the players who are still there to take leadership. Unless you want to go for a rebuild, which Edmonton is doing right now, where they have McDavid, which is good, but unfortunately they don't have any other leaders characters in the locker room that's been there for a while. You could probably argue that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins would be one of them, but if you look outside that, who else has been there long? Who has been there like leader? Who has been the backbone? Who's the depth players? No, they don't have that, because the year they tanked, they weren't even the worst at tanking, but they were definitely like not getting any kind of like proper scoring, proper structure. They sold like most of the players who were there at the time. Those players include bad trades like Jordan Eberle and Taylor Hall. So good job, Sorelli. And Edmonton fans right now want me to stop turning the knife. But that just illustrates that it's so important to win some of these games. Sometimes even when you are probably going more so for the rebuild and actually going for higher draft pick, it means a lot to win a game. Especially when you haven't won a game in what is probably 6 games or so. That means a lot. Now for the game, this was a really, really nice game for the Minnesota Wild, because first of all, we scored on a power play, which came from an assist from Ryan Donato, which is great. He had a fantastic first game for the Minnesota Wild. He has 2 assists. I think he played a fine game. I think he was that kind of shooter that I was hoping to see him as. He was not scared of shooting the puck. He was getting freedom to play, and he was good on the power play line. So the puck comes up to Ryan Donato on the point. He shoots it to Spurgeon, who then gives a perfect pass to Eric Stahl, wide open net. Lundqvist makes a huge save, fantastic save by Lundqvist. The puck unfortunately goes backwards into Spurgeon, who just pokes it in. I think that's probably one of our best power play goals this season, because if Eric Stahl puts that in first time, that looks amazing. It's 2 fantastic plays where we completely split the opposition's defenders and they don't know who they're looking for. Lundqvist makes a huge save, but even then they are so far apart, the defenders and the goalie and the forwards, that they have no structure at all. Spurgeon sees that the puck might go into the back area behind Lundqvist. He pokes it in. Easy goal. And then the one negative from the game, the goal that the Rangers gets is on a power play for them. And unfortunately, that's one that Dubnyk has to have. It's a shot where Brunswick, I think it is, has the puck. He has it for like a good 2 seconds. Just looking at it like, okay, I don't really have a lot of shot. And then he just puts it through the leg of Dubnyk. He got back, Devin Dubnyk. Credit where credit's due. Devin Dubnyk got back. I actually think he had a solid game if you look past that goal. But man, was that a bad one to give up. And that's one that I think may have been scaring a lot of Wild fans and is giving more ammunition to the guys who don't like Dubnyk or feel like he's been bad for like the past month or so, which I will say he hasn't been great, but at the same time, before that month, he was arguably, and I wouldn't even say arguably, he was our best player on the ice for that period of time before the All-Star game. But we got back, scored a goal to make it 2-1, nice, get into it, and it's working, and even then, we had a few other chances that didn't go our way. We had 2 goals that was called offside, rightly so. Fair play to the referees. Into the 3rd period, there's still like 5 minutes left, and then the ref screwed the pooch. In our favor, but they screwed the pooch, let's be honest. So there was probably the most blatant tripping call in the world, where Zach Parise ends up getting a rebound after Eric Stahl literally trips a guy. You cannot trip a guy more deliberately. Everyone in the arena saw it. Every Wild player outside Parise thought that was going to be a penalty. The only guy in that arena, and in the television viewers as well, that didn't think that was a penalty was the stripes. And lo and behold, it gives a breakaway to Zach Parise, who is probably our best player at breakaways. He puts it up high. Lundqvist, no chance. And the Madison Square Garden goes completely silent. And Lundqvist wants to throw his helmet, blocker, glove, and probably for good measure, cross-check the referee. And yes, I know that wasn't a goalie stick. Bear with me. That was like a thing I found like at Amazon for once at like $10. So I bought it. But we get the empty netter afterwards. It goes to be a 4-1 win. This empty netter was also assisted, although it's secondary assist, but still actually an important secondary assist by Ryan Donato. So a really nice game by Ryan Donato and a really good start to his Minnesota Wild career. I think he can definitely contribute with us. And I think he showed why he has that ability to actually make us a more scary team, because if we have that sniper, if we have a bona fide shooter on our lineup, I think we are a lot better of a team. I will miss Charlie Coyle, and right now, Charlie Coyle is the better player between him and Ryan Donato. No trying to deny that, but in a few years' time, when Ryan Donato gets older, a little bit more bigger, a little bit more strength, he will definitely be a nicer player. And if he keeps that shot and keeps his mentality of shooting the puck, this could be a really, really good trade for us, let's be honest. Although Rangers fans have kept nagging on about the fact that Ryan Spooner had 2 assists in his first game, so let's not get a high hopes up. But he looked nice, in my opinion, for the first game at least. I like what he brought to the team, especially with that Egg and Connon line. I think he fit well on that line, and then moving Greenway up onto the Parise and Zucker line. It's good to finally be in the win column again. We have game against Detroit. I don't know if I'll be able to make a video before that or after that about the trade deadline, but I will try and make something about, first of all, what happens to the Wild, what should we do towards the trade deadline, and maybe I'll do something about the up-and-coming Duchesne trade, which could be happening, could have happened as the time this goes up, but definitely that he's going to Columbus for a few picks and players to the Ottawa Senators, which is a trade that's gonna happen, and quite suddenly. So that's a thing I might also make a video on separately, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what I can afford, because I have an assignment to the uni as well that I have to make. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. Have a nice Friday, and I'll see you guys next time.